news, a local car dealership comes to the rescue after a disappointing theft of money earmarked for veterans' causes.
I'm stunned. This has gone so much further than I thought.
Then, the effort to improve students' preparedness for college. But first, a big night expected as you get a turn to weigh in on the presidential candidates.
We anticipate we could have as many as 2,000 people that come out to Wayzata High School in 44A.
I'm running on some adrenaline now, but I think I'm going to make it to the finish.
12 News starts right now. Hello everyone, it is down to the wire for local political parties preparing for large crowds on Super Tuesday.
Minnesota is one of 12 states holding primaries or caucuses on Tuesday, which means you could be casting your ballot for the next president. Local party volunteers have been preparing for Tuesday for weeks.
It's been wild. It's been crazy. We've been busy.
Senate District 44 GOP Chair Patty Meyer, who is one of the organizers of the Republican caucus at Wayzata Central Middle School, knows this is crunch time.
Tonight I'm doing my third training of conveners, and we're ready. We've got our forms ready. We've got our space ready. And I've got a great group of people that are going to lead the precincts.
Likewise, DFL organizers like Senate District 44 Vice Chair David Long are in the final stages of preparation too.
We're just training all our volunteers. We have about 50 volunteers trained already, and we're expecting, record turnout, so we want to be prepared.
The turnout for Tuesday night's caucus is expected to be a big one. Long believes it could be as high as 4 times what is normal.
We anticipate we could have as many as 2,000 people that come out to Wayzata High School.
The reason why Tuesday's numbers could be higher than years past is easy to see with such an interesting lineup of candidates.
Tuesday is going to be fascinating.
Hamlin political science professor David Schultz points out that at a caucus you can't absentee vote, so people must show up to let their voice be heard. And with such contested races on both sides, people want their opinions counted.
Unlike some years, the caucuses here seem like they're going to mean something. And they're going to mean something because on both sides, both the Democrats and Republicans, we have some fairly contested elections going on.
The presidential preference ballot might draw people to the caucus on Tuesday, but party volunteers hope people stick around to get engaged in the party and the process.
People that want to just vote for the president, their preference, can just come in, vote, and leave. But the people that are really interested in the party, should stay and get involved with all the other things we do.
It's informal. It's a way to meet with your neighbors. It is your neighborhood, and it's a way to get involved in the party.
With the caucus coming up, you'll be hearing a lot from all the presidential candidates over the next few days in ads and from their local supporters. Republican presidential candidate Marco Rubio opened his Minnesota office in Maple Grove. He attracted 1,700 supporters to a recent rally in downtown Minneapolis, and Rubio supporters believe Minnesota is fertile ground for their candidate.
In this office, we will be contacting thousands and thousands of Minnesota Republicans between now and the caucus, and largely we'll be reaching out and telling our supporters where their site is, making sure that they are with us.
7 presidential candidates are still in the running, and if you want to be a part of it all, the Minnesota Secretary of State's office has a caucus finder. Just punching in your zip code allows you to find caucus locations provided by the DFL and Republican parties.
The medical examiner has identified the man who was shot and killed during an attempted robbery in Brooklyn Park. 20-year-old Armaj Craig of Minneapolis died of a gunshot wound to the chest. It happened in the 7500 block of Imperial Drive Monday night. Police say Craig and the man he was trying to rob exchanged gunfire. The man who was being robbed was not arrested and had a valid permit to carry a handgun. In Plymouth, a 10-year-old child was injured in a crash Wednesday night at Highway 55 and Rockford Road. Police say the child was thrown from the car and pinned under another car. It happened when a driver decided to turn in front of oncoming traffic.
So they cut in front of traffic that was already moving at high speeds to turn south onto County Road 24 when they were struck. So they were struck, they spun, they hit other vehicles, the child was ejected.
The child was taken to North Memorial, but the injuries are not life-threatening. One driver involved was arrested after failing field sobriety tests. Going from high school to college can be a shock for some students.
Now that's why one school district is trying to prepare kids for college long before they leave high school. Eric Nelson joins us with that story. Eric?
Yeah, Shannon and Mike, this is being dubbed as the Bridge to College Math Program. It was started at Anoka High 2 years ago. Now the Anoka-Hennepin District wants to expand the program to other high schools, including Champlin Park, next fall.
The idea is college and career readiness, and what better time to start college and career readiness at the high school level than in 9th grade. And it just so happens that in the 9th grade year, the program is embedded into math. And then in the 10th grade year at Anoka High School, the work continues in an English course.
The Champlin Park program is known as the Intermediate Algebra College Foundation Scores. The ultimate goal is for math improvement and success. Student surveys indicate that they think high school should be a springboard to college and prepare them for taking that next step.
When they go to college, one of the things they wish they had were study skills. And so why not integrate those study skills earlier? And ultimately, big picture would be great if we were actually able to give all of our students, every one of our students, study skills. And so we're a step in the right direction here by integrating into our math classes.
The curriculum for this program is taken from St. Cloud State's freshman math classes and blends it into 9th grade math.
All right, thank you, Eric. Imagine having a mobile app that links all the bike routes in the 7-county metro area.
If you're a coder or a software developer, or maybe just interested in dreaming up solutions to make things better, here's something to put on your calendar. Geocode 2.0 is coming up next weekend at the University of Minnesota. It's a community exercise geared to brainstorm and find ways to make raw data available on county websites more useful to the public. For example, coders recently took open information about different transit services and paired it with an interactive map so users can find transportation wherever they are.
We're looking for people to come forward and say, this is the thing that I really want to see in my community, and I am going to work with you to create it. As a county government, this is a wonderful thing because we're actually meeting the community where it's at.
Geocode is a free public event on the U campus, and for more information, visit the Hennepin County website. Well, coming up, we'll show you how a local company is stepping in to help a veteran recover from a theft.
And later in sports, the boys basketball playoffs tip off for a couple of local teams.
But first, a big warm-up in your AccuWeather forecast.
The Brooklyn Park community is rallying around an Iraq War veteran.
Well, last week we introduced you to Jason Reinders. He is raising money to help veterans who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. But after someone stole donations that were being used to help, there is a happy ending, as Sonia Goins reports.
All right. Yep, you're all set here. Have a good day.
Jason Reinders faces the first-degree customers at the Go For It gas station in Brooklyn Park. Earlier this month, he put a donation box in the store to raise money for a Minnesota nonprofit called 23rd Veteran.
I'm raising for this cause to raise awareness against veteran suicides.
It's a charity close to his heart.
There's 22 veterans a day that commit suicides as they can no longer deal with their personal demons.
Jason fights those same demons. He served 9 years in the Army and was deployed in Iraq and Afghanistan. He also suffers from PTSD.
Me personally, mine manifests or has in the past with anger.
No one could blame him for being upset last week after 2 women stole money out of the donation box.
Anytime you have somebody steal something from you or from a place of your work, it hurts.
But some good came out of the misfortune. Donations started pouring in after people heard about the theft.
Oh, I've gotten probably 7 or 8 times the money just in this box than what those 2 ladies stole.
It restored Jason's faith in mankind.
I'm completely stunned by this. This is more than I could have ever imagined. It's gone way further than what I thought it was going to go.
But things did go even further. His neighbor across the street, Kia of Brooklyn Park, gave him a check for $720.
We'd like to contribute this check for you and as a token of our appreciation.
Councilman John Jordan was also on hand with a few kind words.
Thank you, Jason, for being such a wonderful part of our community. People like you are the fabric of what we do in Brooklyn Park.
Jason says he's grateful for all the support.
Thank you to Kia.
Perfect. No, thank you very much.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Thank you, Kia. Thank you.
Jason is participating in an event called the Nearly Naked Ruck March in Duluth this weekend. He'll carry a 50-pound backpack as he hikes 4 miles So far, he's raised about $1,600, and if you'd like to donate, we've got a link on our website with information. Well, coming up, we'll meet a standout student who doesn't duck the hard work.
That's right, and up next in sports, the Wayzata boys hockey team skates to state. John Jacobson has their section championship highlights when we come back.
The Wayzata boys hockey team played pretty well down the stretch in the regular season and also in their first 2 playoff games. The Trojans were looking to punch their ticket to state when they faced Cretin-Derham Hall for the Section 6 AA title. The Raiders strike early, though. Ryan Smith deflects the point shot past Alex Schilling for a power play goal just 2:33 into the game. Wayzata answers as Dylan Riley from behind the net feeds Andrew Urban. It's his first goal of the season, and the game is tied 1-1 after a wild first period. Wayzata controls the second period, but they can't get anything past goalie Mike Magnuson. He has 27 saves through 2 periods. But Wayzata breaks through in the third. Colin Schmidt to Mark Senden crashing the net for the goal. The Trojans break the deadlock to lead 2-1. Just over a minute later, the Cretin defenseman falls, and Luke Patterson sets up Billy Duma for the goal and a 3-1 Wayzata lead. They add an empty netter, and for the 4th time in school history, Wayzata is headed to the state boys hockey tournament.
I wouldn't say I got nervous. I just know we had to keep pumping away, keep shooting the puck and everything like that, and just stick to the game plan that we had out for these guys, and it paid off in the end. So.
The state wrestling tournament is underway with team competition up first. Totino Grace is in the Class 2A field. The Eagles lost their quarterfinal match to second seed Simley 53-15 this morning. In the consolation bracket, Totino Grace lost 46-21 to Perham. Boys basketball teams in Section 6-4A tipped off their section tournament Wednesday night. Cooper is the 3rd seed. The Hawks hosting Minneapolis South in the quarterfinals. South leads early. Bradley Lewis drives down the middle, finishes with a nice layup. He scores 16 for the Tigers. Cooper answers as Jalen Justice in transition pulls up for the short jumper, tie the game at 14. Ante Burns, strong with the dribble, gets into the lane and scores as Cooper takes a 5-point lead at 24-19. Isaiah Gordon makes a nice spin move to get some space, and he scores. It's a good battle, and Cooper survives the upset bid, and they win 83-78 in overtime. Also in Section 6, Armstrong and Red against St. Louis Park. The Falcons beat the press. Drew Thompson scores 2 of his 27 points. Armstrong's up big, 61-38 in the second half. Falcons break the Orioles press once again here. Race Thompson misses the layup, but Jubialati is there to clean it up for 2 more. He scores 18. Armstrong piles up the points, and they roll to an 89-65 win over St. Louis Park. The top 2 seeds had no trouble in their quarterfinals. Number 1 seed Hopkins rolls over Minneapolis Southwest 90-50. Second seed Wayzata downs Washburn 73-38. In the semifinals Saturday at Osseo High School, Armstrong plays Hopkins at 5:30, followed by Cooper against Wayzata. We are coming to near the end of the ice fishing season for another year. Here's the final Channel 12 ice fishing tip of the season with Terry Tuma.
So often when we go ice fishing for any species of fish, we have this tendency that we have to jig. And yes, many times we have to move that lure to attract your fish. But what we also have to understand, it's not just a lift and drop, lift and drop. It can be just shaking the rod itself. And what I do employ many, many times is I'll just take my opposite hand, the forefinger, and just tick that rod tip to offer this real subtle movement of your lure, especially for bluegills and for crappies, also jumbo perch. But we have to understand not just up and down. And when we're talking about that, you can have a different speed of a drop rate, if you will, is by controlling your drop rate of that vertical jigging spoon, an ice lure like a teardrop or tungsten or whatever on semi-slack line. These are all factors in the types of jigging action that we're going to pursue. Also, too, there's many time frames when holding it steady can be the most productive, or just dancing that rod. So vary your jigging action, you are going to catch some fish. This is the last segment for the ice fishing season, and I sure hope you learned a few tips at least, and make sure that you tune in May when we start the open water fishing tips, and we're going to have a lot of new items to cover, and it's going to hopefully catch some more fish for you through the whole season, you ice fishing and open water. Have a great winter season. We'll talk to you in May.
Thanks, Terry. We'll have highlights from 2 section hockey finals Friday starting at 4 as Maple Grove and Breck both look for state tournament appearances like Wayzata did.
All right, very good. Thanks, John. Coming up, a standout student who doesn't shy away from high school's most difficult classes.
We'll be right back. Finally, a challenging load of academic courses might not always sound like the most appealing option for high school students.
But as Delane Cleveland reports, today's standout student from Champlin Park High School thrives on the opportunity to acquire as much knowledge as possible.
What you need to do is figure out what coefficients need to go in front of each of these terms to force this desired outcome to happen.
To the untrained eye and ear,
Plus a sub 2x squared.
this Champlin Park math class may sound like a foreign language.
This is equivalent to what would have been called Calc 2 in college.
The college level course might scare off some students,
because that's the antiderivative of that function.
but that's not the case with junior Raji Daniel.
I'm taking more and more honors in AP and IB courses.
He welcomes the challenge.
I feel like accomplishing something in each class does give me more motivation to take on something in the next level.
Ever since Raji was a child, he said he's had a passion for science, technology, engineering, and math.
Minus 1/7 x to the 7th.
Now, this aspiring chemical engineer is using his love of STEM subjects to excel in the classroom.
I know that's a very selective field, but that's why I'm acquiring as much knowledge as I can in the courses that are available at my school, which are a lot because it's an IB school.
It's a fact that's not lost on Raji's teachers.
Some students excel because of ability. Some students excel because they work hard. Raji excels because he has both of those things.
Raji's talent and strong work ethic extends beyond the classroom. When he's not solving math problems, he also excels in the school's speech and debate teams.
And although it is great to be good in math and science, you kind of still need the other stuff to succeed later in life.
It's a mindset that's helped him earn a 4.12 GPA while taking Champlin Park's most difficult courses. His teachers say that the desire to challenge himself will serve him well in the future.
He's a very bright student who likes learning, but he also works incredibly hard.
At Champlin Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
And despite wearing the Harvard sweatshirt during his interview, Raji is still undecided on college.
And we're undecided on when the last time we heard the word coefficient. I think we're all...
It's been a while. It's been a while. He could probably teach us a thing or two.
Absolutely.
That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
And we'll see you back here again tomorrow starting at 4.